Hello everyone, welcome to Notes on Finding the Slope of Functions. So the slope is the rate of change of a linear function, which is basically how steep it is. And so we have a few equations that mean the same thing, change in y over change in x. Those triangles mean change in. We also have y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, or rise over run. So here's some examples of types of slopes. The one that's going up from left to right is a positive slope. The one going down from left to right is a negative slope. The one that's flat is a zero slope. And the one that's up and down is undefined because it's not a function. It would not pass the vertical line test. So the flat one is a y equals line when you write an equation, and the vertical one is an x equals line when you write an equation. Make sure you notice to read the graphs from left to right. So they're either going up or down from left to right. Now we're going to find the slope from 2 points. So it'll be in a question that says, what is the slope between, and then it'll give you 2 coordinates. So this one says, find the slope of a line that goes through the points -1, -2, and 3, 8. So we're going to steal our equation from the top. I'm copying and pasting that down there. So y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And we're going to label our x1, y1, x2, y2. Remember, coordinates go x, comma, y. It doesn't matter which ones you label, the ones and the twos, as long as they're ones together or twos together. So we've got 8 minus -2 over 3 minus -1 when we plug it in. Minus a negative, remember, becomes positive. So you end up with 10 over 4, and that can simplify to the fraction 5 over 2. So same question, but the points 1, 0, and 6, -3. So we label our x1, y1, x2, y2, plug them into the equation. So we've got -3 minus 0 over 6 minus 1, which simplifies to -3 over 5. So that one is a negative slope. So this one, we've got 6, -15, and 9, -15. So notice that the y values are the same. So think about the graphs up top. We got a positive slope, a negative slope. And now whenever we plug this in, since it's going to be a y equals line, since both of our y's are the same value, when we subtract them, we should get 0 on top, which simplifies to 0. So that's a flat y equals line. As you can see, that's what it looks like. For number 4, we're going to have 2 of the same x values. So when the x values are the same, when we plug them into the equation, we would have to divide by 0 because the zeros, like 10 minus 10 is going to give us 0 on the denominator. And that's going to give us an undefined slope because you cannot divide by 0. And therefore, it's not a function. So if you can't have the slope, then it's not a function. And it's going to look like the vertical line that we graphed up top, which is an x equals line. All right, so now we're finding slope from a graph. So we're drawing 4 graphs. We're going to practice our rise over run, which y'all are going to watch the slope dude video as well. So just drawing our graphs. You probably have to press pause to copy these down at the end. But make sure you're getting the exact same points. So this first one is a positive slope. Remember to count from left to right. And we're doing rise over run. So rise is up and down, run is left and right. So our rise is going to be up 2, and our run is going to be over 3. So our rise over run slope fraction would be 2/3, which is a positive slope because that's a positive number, and because it's going up from left to right. For this one, we have a vertical line, so there's no run, which means our run is 0. You cannot have a 0 at the bottom of a fraction, which means that this is an undefined slope. That's an infinity sign if you didn't know. So infinity over 0 is undefined. That line was going up infinitely. So this line is obviously going down from left to right, so we count down first. Our rise is going to be -3. Our run is going to be 6. So as our fraction, we get -3 over 6, which simplifies to -1/2. So that's a negative slope because it's a negative number. For this one, we have no rise. So that means on top, we're going to have a 0 on top of our fraction. So that fraction is going to simplify to 0, which means we have a 0 slope, which means that it's a y equals line.